Hi, within this lecture, we're going to install Windows as a virtual machine in our host machine using VirtualBox. So maybe right now you're thinking, I'm already using Windows, do I have to install Windows 10 as a virtual machine? Yes, you have to, because we're going to use this virtual as a victim machine. We're going to attack to that victim machine, we're going to perform some attacks, do some backdoors, trojans, man-in-the-middle attacks, and everything that we're going to learn in the following sections. So it's better to have this virtual machine in our own ethical hacking lab, do it in a safe environment, okay? So right now, I'm going to open my browser one more time and go to google.com because I'm going to search for Windows 10 VirtualBox virtual machine, okay? If you click enter, it will take you to a website called developer.microsoft.com. So yes, Microsoft actually provides us this opportunity to work with virtual machines of Windows. So if you click on this link, and I will share this link in resources as well, it will ask you to select a virtual machine. So I'm going to select MS Edge Win 10. So I'm going to work with Windows 10, and it really doesn't matter. Some people ask if they can work with Windows 7 or Windows 8. Yes, you can, because we're going to use this as a victim machine, as I said before. It really doesn't matter as long as it's a Windows in order to make our attacks more realistic. And you're going to have to choose a platform next, and our platform, as you know, is the VirtualBox. If you're using VMware for any reason, you can choose it to do so from here. After you do that, just click on this download zip, and this is again a little bit big, like 4 gigabytes, then it's going to take some time. I'm going to stop this again because I have already downloaded it before. In order not to make you wait, I'm just going to show you how to install it. And again, I'm going to import an appliance from here. You can do it in the Windows machine as well. Just click on here and go to the downloads or wherever you may want to download it, okay? And if it's a RAR or zip file, you may want to extract it, okay? Because we need the OVA file, not the .zip file. You may use WinZip or WinRAR in order to extract it. Later on, double click on this OVA file and hit continue. I'm going to say import again because, as we have seen in the previous lecture, VirtualBox gives us the opportunity to change the settings later on in VirtualBox. So wait until it's imported and come back. Once it's imported, select the newly imported virtual machine from here and click settings. And we're going to do the same settings like in the previous lecture. So you may want to change the name from here, and you have to choose Windows 10 64-bit. Then in the system, you have to allocate the RAM one more time. And Windows requires more RAM than Kali Linux, obviously. The default RAM, suggested RAM, is 4 GB for me. But remember, you have to use the Kali Linux and Windows and your own host machine at the same time during this course. So you have to optimize these values one more time. Since I'm using 8 GB of RAM, I'm going to change this to be 2 GB. And Windows requires at least 2 GB, okay? So this will be a little bit hard to run, but it will run. It won't kill me. And in the processor, it may require 2 CPUs, so I'm going to leave it as that. So if you allocate this and you see it's lagging, it's slow, it's very fast, I don't know, then you can just come here, close the virtual machine, and just reallocate the settings from scratch. I'm going to go to display, so this is okay. I'm going to go to network. I'm going to choose the NAT network one more time. And I don't have any more thing to do in here. Oh, without forgetting, you have to select this advanced. And in here, you have to go to promiscuous mode and say allow all. This will allow you to simulate network attacks very efficiently later on in the network section. Okay, we didn't do that in the Kali Linux section because I forgot it. Now you can say allow all to the promiscuous mode and say OK. Of course, now I can change this value from Kali Linux, go to Kali Linux and say settings, and go to network and say advanced, and for promiscuous mode say allow all. Later on, now we are ready to test this Windows. So click on start, it will open the Windows for you. And this will be a little laggy compared to the Kali Linux, as it requires more RAM, more CPUs, and this is a very hard operating system to run actually. And this is not efficient as Kali Linux. But we are going to use this Windows as a victim machine, so we are not going to work within Windows very much. So it is imperative for us to run this, but it is enough just to see it running, okay? And after it runs, it will show you a screen like this. And remember, sometimes it takes time for Windows to adjust the settings. So when it's opened, you may want to just take it to the full screen and then go back and then take it to the full screen to make it adjust one more time. So when it's opened, it should ask you a password. But if it's not, it means that it will ask you for a password when you reboot it, when you close it and open it one more time. And you may get the latest password from the Microsoft website that we have downloaded. So let me see if I closed it. Yeah, I closed it. Let me go to history and open this developer.microsoft.com. As you can see, the current password is password with these letters. But you may want to check it from here because in time, maybe they can change it. And sometimes in the first run, it doesn't ask for a password, but later on, it asks. Okay, now it's opened for me and it didn't ask for a password because it was the initial run. Let me try to make this into full screen. As you can see now, it doesn't work in full screen. In order to make it compliant, you may want to right click on here and say display settings. And within the display settings, you can increase the resolution, okay, like to this one, and it would be better, and say keep changes. And later on, when you close this and reopen it again, it would be full screen, maximizing the whole screen, filling in the right and left blanks as well. But it will take for some time for Windows to adjust this. And I generally change the firewall and security settings within Windows as well. So let me show you how to do that. And if you're using Windows, you may know actually how to do that, but you can click on this start here and search for settings, okay? And go to settings. And within the settings, you can change anything you want, like language, personalization. Like if you want to use it in another language, it's possible. You may want to change it to your native language. You may want to change the background and everything, but don't get too attached to this Windows. As I said before, we're going to use this only as a victim machine. It really doesn't matter for us to actually using this Windows 10 or Windows 7 or Windows 8. And let me go to update and security, not game bar. And within this Windows update and security, I'm going to go to click on this Windows security, and here we have some virus and threat protection, we have some firewall and network protection and everything. When I do tests within my VirtualBox, I generally disable these firewalls. It may sound stupid for you, but it is wiser to disable this and see if your attacks actually work, and then reintroduce this, enable this, and see if they block your actual attack or not. So if you do that, you would know if firewall is blocking, if your attack is working or not. But if you don't do this, if you just leave it open, you wouldn't know if the problem is within your attack, or the firewall is blocking, or the Windows Defender is blocking, or antivirus is blocking. And don't worry, we're going to discuss how to bypass antivirus solutions and everything in our course as ethical hackers. But it is wise to just turn this off when you do tests and then reintroduce it. Maybe if you find that stupid, then you can leave it on as well. It won't affect our attacks very much during this course. But I'm going to go and turn off this firewall anyway, okay? And you may want to just go to security here, and you may want to adjust this virus and threat protection as well. So right now we don't have any antivirus on our Windows, and we don't have any active scan running right now. But you may want to click on here, and you may want to turn this off as well. It wouldn't be too realistic since most of the users use this virus protection, but for test purposes it may be better. I'm just gonna leave this on in order not to raise any suspicion on your minds about this course, because we're going to learn so much useful information throughout the course, and it will work in too many scenarios. I don't want you to think this will work only if this is turned off or something. I'm going to leave this on, but I turned off the firewall. It really doesn't matter, because if there comes a time where if we need to turn the firewall on or turn the virus off, then we're going to do it together later on. So if you have seen this, if you have successfully started Windows, then it's okay for you to close this right now and say power off the machine. So we're going to stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to see some feature of VirtualBox called Snapshots, which will give us chance to create save points in our virtual machines.